Episode 5. How's it going, Ian?
Pretty good. How are you, sir?
Doing okay. Super busy. Oh well.
You were telling me.
Yeah, such is life.
Such
trying to
is
move
life.
right now, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be moving a little bit south, not too far away. A couple minutes away, actually.
Still in Phoenix, then?
Definitely still in Phoenix. Just a couple miles south. But, I don't know. That's keeping me busy.
I bet.
Yeah, got school and stuff, too. And work.
You're a
Lovely.
busy guy.
Yeah. How busy are you?
Busy enough. I have a full-time job like most other people. Spending a lot of time with Condemned. As you know, we have the show on tomorrow, Friday. And then I also work on my own music stuff to sprinkle in, work on whenever I have free time in between Condemned and work. So
Yeah, how often are you, is Condemned, practicing and stuff?
so far we've been doing it twice a week since we had a couple of different lineup changes. So we're trying to re-solidify ourselves. So I'm back on drums, kind of. Tim is back with us.
Okay,
And
that's
so
cool.
it is pretty cool. He had a temporary leave of absence.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yep. But after a few months, we tried some stuff out, and we were still talking with him. It's not like he left and we just weren't talking.
Yeah.
But after a while, he kind of decided he wanted to join back with us with some strings attached, so to speak, musically, I mean. But yeah, for this next show, it's the lineup that we've had for the past, year, because we got Emilio on bass about a little over a year ago now.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You got a new member about a year ago, and then when Tim left, did you guys get another drummer? You took over guitar, right?
Yeah, so when Tim left, none of us really saw that one coming. So we were kind of left there thinking, okay, well, what are we going to do? Do we find another guitar player? I had been wanting to kind of move away from drums for a while now. So when that happened, I kind of brought it up to Nate and Amelia. I was like, hey, I'm more than willing to try out guitar if we can maybe find another drummer. And they were open to it. So yeah, we found a guy we were practicing with for a little bit on drums. But it turned out it just wasn't going to work with that guy. And of course, we already had this headlining show booked, as well as a couple of Texas shows in September. So
Yeah, I saw that.
So with Tim coming back, it makes sense to just kind of go with what we were used to for now. Once those September shows in Texas are done, then we'll kind of reassess ourselves and kind of take it from there.
All right. Oh, for the audience, in case you guys don't really know, we're referring to Condemned Till Dawn.
Condemned Till Dawn, yes.
Yeah, it's a metal band.
CTD.
I'll post a link in this video so you guys will be able to see it.
All the slow dancing death metal you want, melodic death metal.
Oh yeah, the mosh pits are artistic.
The mosh, oh yes, very artistic mosh pits, very serene walls of death, very peaceful shows.
Peaceful in a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking.
Some people find peace differently than others.
It's peaceful to me. Maybe some people.
Me too, man. I'm right there with you.
I know some people probably disagree, but you and I think alike. That's where we thrive. So
yeah, us metalheads.
That's right.
All part of the same clan, just different genres. So you said Condemned is going out to Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be one tour, doing a couple shows, or?
Yeah, it's not really I guess you could call it a tour. So
mini
far,
tour?
Sure. It's so far just a couple of shows. There might be one, maybe two added on, but so far just two are confirmed for sure. With Hineana, I believe they're headlining, and Dawn of Dissolution's on there, and maybe another band that I can't think of the name of right now. But we've been talking about going over to Texas and doing some shows for quite a while now.
Oh, so it's a couple local bands? You're all going together,
or? They're all in Texas.
Oh, okay. I got you.
We know them because when Nate toured with Wolfheart a couple years ago now.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
So he was doing bass for them, but they also got a session guitar player, Joe, who was part of Dawn of Dissolution. That's how those guys got to know each other. And of course, Joe from Dawn of Dissolution is from Texas, and he's affiliated with those other bands, and that's how we all came to know each other.
Oh, so they just kept in touch after doing a tour together?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's pretty cool.
I like hearing stories like that. So, where are you going to Texas?
To Austin and Houston.
Austin and Houston.
First show on the 10th, I believe, is in Austin, and then the next day on the 11th is Houston.
Going back to Austin.
Back to Austin, that's right.
I went with you and Arcanaut, Condemned and Arcanaut. We went to Austin.
That was a trip.
That was a trip. That was kind of a lot of effort to play to like 5 people.
Well, yeah. I mean, we obviously, all of us didn't know that it would just be 5 people the one night.
We didn't know shit. We didn't know anything going out there, dude. We just know we had a show booked.
Well, we thought we did, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course.
And then, we'd have the first show in Austin, right? And that went as good as we might have hoped.
It was all right. Just a dive bar on the downtown street.
It was the next day that was the train wreck, right?
Man. Yeah, going to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Albuquerque.
Oh, I'll never go back to Albuquerque.
You know, the guys in Condemned have said the same thing. I've said the same thing, but I also see some of these bigger bands, if they tour any of like the western states, like almost always Albuquerque, New Mexico is on that list.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because it's like one of the few cities in between Arizona and Texas that you can that actually has venues. Like,
well, right. But I mean, so I would assume if they keep going back there, they must enjoy playing at whatever venues they're playing at.
They must have some kind of benefit. Even if they don't enjoy it, there must be some benefit somewhere. Maybe they get paid. I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably not staying in like super shady hotel rooms.
On the bad side of town.
With
all the tweakers rolling around.
People stealing tires off of the cars in the hotel parking lot.
Oh yeah, dude. You were there in Walgreens with us, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude. We went into Walgreens and the lady came running from behind the counter. She's like, "Oh, you guys need help?" Like, no, we're just looking around. Oh, I was just looking out in the parking lot for that guy who's breaking into cars.
But yeah, she was like, "Hey, are you guys driving like a white sedan?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, I just saw someone breaking into it. Just thought you should know." What? Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
We should get all of our band equipment out of here.
I think it was just me, Tim, Nate, and you. I think you were the only like Arcanaut guy with us.
Yeah. The rest of the Arcanaut guys were still at the venue, like trying to buy weed or something. I called them up. They're like, we're waiting for weed. Like, no,
bro, we gotta leave.
Get out of here. We need to get back to the hotel room, like get our shit and leave.
We were originally going to stay that night, right? But then we decided maybe we should probably just cut our losses and go.
Yeah, we'd already decided we weren't going to play the show because the venue was a joke.
Oh yeah, well the venue was also taken by like a rap group, right?
Yeah, the only place that a metal band could have played, there was a rap group up there and setting up. Like, we're not gonna. No, we can't play over these guys. Like, we'd blow them out of the freaking building.
Like, you listened, like when we all walked up. I'm sure you were there. Like the guy, he was like an older gentleman who was like, hosting tables up at the front, seating people, and he was like, "Oh, are you guys here for the rap group tonight?"
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we were supposed to be Arcanaut and Condemned Till Dawn, right? He's like, oh, I have. He said he had Arcanaut written down, but he hadn't even heard of. He had no idea Condemned Till Dawn was supposed to be playing that night.
That place, they had no idea what they were doing.
They tried putting us on that side stage.
I know.
There was no one in there.
It was like a room, like a bedroom size thing. Like, maybe you could do a comedy show in there.
Right, it was like for stand-up, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Or beat poetry. Who knows? That place was strange. But they had like bed sheets hung up all over the walls and stuff, and it's like all mismatched. It was like a thrift store got turned into a bar. It was really weird.
And they had like 3 tables and like 2 chairs.
Yeah, 3 tables and 2 chairs, like in the tiny little room. Like,
We'd basically be practicing in that room since there'd be no one in there.
It would just be a practice session. You might be able to fit somebody in there in the corner. If they like kept their hands and legs next to themselves so they didn't get like bumped into guitars or whatever.
That was definitely not the highlight of the trip. But then the ride home that night was also pretty rough. I remember.
Oh yeah, we just took off. We decided not to play the show. Then we had that thing at Walgreens, and then we like left.
We just drove all the way home.
We're just like, we're leaving tonight. We're not staying here. Get our trailer broken into. So we fucking drove all night.
Do you remember where? I can't remember if it was. I'm pretty sure it was close to the border. I can't remember if we were in Arizona yet, or if it was still part of New Mexico, where there was that one city or that street that half of it was like shut down, quarantined because of all like the fucking bugs, all the stink bugs.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was crazy. There was like that bug migration.
Oh yeah.
And then
a couple of the guys like, hey, we're gonna check out the bugs on the other side of the street. It's like, okay, and they come back and they bring back this like infestation of stink bugs, and they infiltrate our vehicles.
Yeah, I remember Tim like pulling over. He jumps out of the truck.
I was
like,
right
waving
next
his
to
arms.
him.
We're like, what the hell is going on over there?
I was right next to him in the passenger seat, and he like freezes, and he's like, I need to pull over right now. I was like, what's going on? And then he just kind of looks down at his shoulder, and there's this huge green stink bug like on his hair crawling up.
You should have just grabbed it for him, dude.
I was as stunned as he was. That thing was big. Like, most of them were pretty big. They were like crawling up our legs and such, but like this one was like
huge.
What is that? Like 2.5, 3 inches long?
I don't know.
maybe it wasn't that big, but it was like he did quickly pull over after that and had to fit.
I remember the rest of us in the other truck. We got out and we're like, dude, what are we doing? Why are we stopped? We were so disappointed. Like, I wasn't in your truck, so I don't know how it went, but
it was bad.
Oh man, that was great. So, have you played any other Condemned shows recently, or have you just been waiting for this one headliner show?
No, the last show we played was in December, I believe. We've only since we've had Emilio, and we got Emilio again like over a year now. We've only had the one show with him.
Oh, jeez.
This next show will be his second show with us.
Oh my god! All right. Well, I'm gonna be there. Definitely.
Hell yeah, dude!
I'm gonna be there watching that show. This will be the first time I went to a show since the whole COVID thing.
Well, since then,
this will be my first show since the whole.
It's like a year and a half over.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think I was going to shows up until like COVID started shutting them down, and then. Yep, it's been that long.
Damn.
But oh well, this will be a good one to go to first.
It'll be a good one.
Hell yeah!
It's gonna be a good one.
My buddies in Condemned headline the show.
Yeah, well,
it's always cool.
It'll be a good time. And there's a couple of other good bands playing as well. I know Amaya's playing, and I'm blanking on the other bands.
Those dudes.
I apologize, but I know Amaya mainly because of Dakota. But
yeah,
that dude's a G.
Yeah, he's cool. Dakota's one of the coolest people. I haven't seen Amaya live. I'm kind of curious to see what they do live on stage.
They're pretty good.
You know, you can listen to metal recordings all day long, but you don't really know a band until you see them live.
Yeah, some bands are really good about like replicating their album sound. Some bands like have their own thing live, which sounds great, and then you have the bands that sound great recording wise, and then you see them live, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
they're kind of not that great.
Yeah, I've seen that before, and it's pretty disappointing when a band can't pull their weight live.
Have you seen that with like bigger bands? Were you like so psyched to see them, and then
I did, dude, and it made me not like the band.
I get it.
And you know, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't like the music anyways, because I've gone back and tried to listen to them, and I don't know. I can't find any good songs that I really like.
Who was it?
It was Whitechapel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Whitechapel. I think it's
because you saw them live.
I thought it was because what I saw live, and then like I was listening through their stuff. Like, I don't know, every once in a while I'll get a Whitechapel song come up on a playlist. I'll try to listen to it. It's like I know a lot of people who like that band, and you know, they recommend it to me, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I've tried to listen to Whitechapel, but but
it just doesn't do it for you.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the rhythm or the cadence of like the vocals, maybe something. It just seems kind of like chanty almost. I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me, but it's been a while since I listened to them, so maybe I'll try again.
I've seen them live once, and I liked their recordings. It was when they were co-headlining with, it was them and the Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw him with Black Dahlia too.
Was that the press
might
room?
have been the same show. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the venue.
It was at the press room. But so that's the first time I saw them live, and I thought they were actually pretty good live. And again, I'm definitely not like the biggest Whitechapel fan. But I thought it's interesting to see Phil, their lead singer, because he's like kind of a shorter guy.
Yeah.
And you see him walk on stage, and he's amongst these like bigger guys, but then his voice, it's like, oh, good God, like hits you in the
Yeah,
face.
Sounds wild. But yeah, when I saw him with Black Dahlia and Flesh God Apocalypse.
That was that same show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't like how they sounded at that show.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember there was a few people there that didn't like how they sounded.
Did you like Flesh God?
Yeah, that's the first time I saw Flesh God. I didn't
Same.
even know who they were, and like my friend was like, "Oh, dude, Flesh God is gonna be at this show," and he like showed me a sample, and I was just like, "What the hell is that? Like this sound is crazy, it's so loud."
That was kind of the same for me. Like I had heard of them, and I'd heard a couple songs, but I hadn't like taken the time to really get into their stuff. But then I saw them live, I was like, God damn, these guys are fucking great.
I definitely listened to those guys since that night. Like Flesh God is one of my favorite metal bands. Those guys are just huge. Like
They're
their
phenomenal.
sound is just crazy. Sounds like you're in an opera house every time you're listening to it. It's just massive. But I don't know a lot of bands who can make sounds like that, you know? Like get that much noise crammed into like one track and still have it like, you know, listenable.
Right.
You can still pick out all the pieces and instruments, but it sounds like there's 1,000 of them. It's like, holy fuck, that's impressive.
They nailed it.
Yeah, definitely. So what are you working on in your own music?
So as far as my own stuff goes, I've been writing more kind of like orchestral concert band type stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
I had written one song that I had finished and I put out back in December. That's on Spotify and all that stuff.
You have to send me a link.
I will. I can do that thing. When I put it out, I felt really good about it. And I still feel good that I have something to show for it. But as soon as I put it out, I was like, this is pretty okay. At least I think it is. I think I can write better stuff. So as soon as I put that out, I had made a goal. And again, this was like a couple days after Christmas, I think, of 2020. I was like, in the next 6 months, I want to write more of this stuff. I want to write about an hour of material and have it done. And I've done that. I have an hour of material done and written. I finished it about a few weeks ago. I only haven't put it out yet because I've been trying to figure out artwork for it, and that process has been taking longer than it needs to.
Dude, it's so hard to find artists. Like, I don't know where to start most of the time, and then, like, I don't know, the one time I really did find, like, a design company, they kind of fucked me over. So it's like...
How so? What'd they do?
Like, they were holding on to their revisions for so long, and then every time I would tell them to fix something else would be wrong. Like, something else would change. I'm like, what? Come on, like, those points didn't look like that in the last one, you know? Like, make them sharper. Like, I want this to be sharp. And then, like, something else will be, like, dull around it afterwards. Like, what are you doing? Like... Or like a triangle on the A would be filled in. It's like, what? Obviously, there's supposed to be a gap there. Like, what?
So they were just jacking you around. It sounds like.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It must have been his first day on the job or something. But damn. And then like afterwards, they're like, oh yeah, we do all the copyright licensing and all that, and you just have to pay us this amount of money. It's like $270. I'm like, I'm taking my business elsewhere. Sorry. Like, if it comes down to it, I'll just figure it out myself.
Sure.
Pay the legal fees my own way. They're like, oh, you're going to have to pay these legal fees anyways. Like, we give you a discount because we use our lawyers. I was like, okay, bye.
In a perfect scenario, that whole process should take, like, I don't know, a week or two.
Yeah, at most.
But yeah, instances like the one you just mentioned, stuff like that happens. The problem I ran into is I found like exactly what I had wanted, and I wanted to buy it from the artist, and this guy I guess he checks his email like once every blue moon or something. He still hasn't made it available for me to purchase on his shop, and I think at this point I need to just kind of cut my losses and find someone else because I don't want to keep waiting and waiting.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like weigh the pros and cons. I mean, it's gonna take forever. It's not worth it, really.
I only put it off just because this was like exactly what I had in mind. But like you say, like there comes a point where I can't just like wait forever.
Yeah, if you're trying to release music and you're waiting on something like that's a picture, kind of doesn't make sense. But.
Yeah, like it's already basically done. I would just add my own things to it. Like this should take like a few days, and it's been like almost a month now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been working on. I have all of that stuff done. It is over an hour of stuff. It's 11 different songs.
So it's going to be like put on one album?
Yeah, you could call it like a whole album, I guess. But yeah, it's all like concert bands, symphonic stuff.
And how did you make that? Did you do that with MIDI?
Basically,
like
yeah.
MIDI instruments?
Yeah, like on your computer, I use Logic as well.
Oh, okay.
And I have a few different VST plugins I would use to kind of create those sounds.
Okay, that's cool. Did you like get any extra ones? Like, have you paid for any of the instruments?
Mm-hmm. I've paid for several.
Okay.
Yeah, the stock sounds on Logic, I wasn't too much of a fan of for what I was going for. So I got a little bit more professional sounding ones.
Yeah, there's definitely way better sound libraries out there.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. Are you going to continue this afterwards? Like, going to keep going?
I'm definitely going to keep writing stuff. I've already started writing something else. I'm not, at least for the moment, I'm not going to keep doing like the full concert band stuff because that was frustrating. That was a frustrating process.
Tedious.
And I'm no audio engineer. I'm sure if I took just a little bit of schooling, I would look at the projects I have on Logic and like just cringe just because of how like discombobulated they look.
Oh, yeah.
Because the one project, the one song that's like over 10 minutes long has like almost 90 tracks in Logic.
Could probably be consolidated a little.
Well, see, I could do that, but then I don't know how to like mix. So like certain sections I would want to sound like at a certain volume. I couldn't get that on the same track to sound a different volume later on in the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you'd have to like make some layered subgrouping to make that happen.
And I'm no audio engineer wizard, so that's a foreign concept to me, at least at this point.
That's the kind of stuff I'm learning in class right now. Like, we already went through those courses, actually, learning how to like subgroup and Pro Tools and Logic and stuff. So like we're going through all of that stuff, and I don't know. Right now we're doing movies, so
nice.
There's a lot of grouping when it comes to like scoring for movies. Because you want the strings to be louder at a certain point and bring them down, and then the brass section comes in. You know, it's like same kind of stuff you're talking about, I guess. But
see, I would love to take a class like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's videos on YouTube. Just look up subgrouping on Logic and YouTube.
But see, I didn't even know to look up subgrouping. I didn't even know what that was until you mentioned it.
All right, well, you hit me up, dude. I'll give you some.
I might take you up on
pointers.
That. I might take you up on that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is what I'm going to school for right now. So they're teaching me all the ins and outs. Because once they send me on my way to my internship, they don't want me to look like an idiot. Like,
sure.
You know, so it's like a super strict like curriculum in this school. They go over so much stuff in such a little amount of time. Like, it's pretty busy.
It sounds like it.
I'm still behind on my required hours.
Tisk.
I got to spend my weekends at school now.
I did that a few times back when I was going full time, and I don't think I missed that.
Oh yeah, that's a full-time school, that's for sure. But I mean, I'm getting it paid for by the Navy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Using my GI Bill on it.
That's cool.
I'm so glad they accepted the GI Bill. So nice.
I bet.
It's like, I hear people. This one guy in my class, man, he told me like, or he's from L.A. So he's already in the music scene, like in L.A. So where all the like big studios are, you know. And he said he already has like a degree in music production. Like he already knows Pro Tools pretty well. Like not 100%, but he's messed around with it before.
Mm-hmm.
And he said like, man, if I took all this money that the tuition costs and just gave half of that to somebody else, they could have trained me on these boards. They could have done all the same stuff. It's like, yeah, I guess I could see that. Like, depending what you're trying to do, Crass goes over a lot of different material. Like, we're going to be doing broadcasting in a couple months here.
Wow.
So they're going to get us into, like, a fake newsroom, pretty much, like a fake broadcast room, and, like, show us the ins and outs of, like, that, and all the networking that's involved with that stuff. And
That's pretty cool, dude.
yeah, it goes pretty far. But I'm excited for that one, actually. Just to see how, like, sports broadcasts work and stuff.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, let's see. It's like a 9 or 10 month program, I think. Or no, it's... Shoot. I don't know. I have to do some math. But it's like 12 cycles, and each cycle is 3 weeks. So it'd be 36 weeks.
Okay.
About 8 or 9 months. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And I've been doing it for about 4 now. So I'm like halfway through.
You're still enjoying it pretty good?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. What I don't enjoy is all the hours I have to put in,
Sure.
like, afterwards. I mean, it does make me better, 'cause practice, but it's hard to do when I'm trying to work and, you know, trying to move, trying to do a whole bunch of other stuff.
I bet.
Like, these guys who have, like, student loans or whatever, they like, get off school and go back to their apartment and chill. And then, like, go back to school the next day. Like, I'm over here, you know, trying to do a podcast. I go to work in the morning, then I go to school, then I'm going home, and, like, I'm going to have to be packing my stuff up here soon, like moving couches and furniture, and it's, I don't know, a headache, but in a couple months it'll be over, hopefully.
Yeah, moving definitely does that.
Yeah, I'm dreading it. I really am, but it's going to be nice to be in a new place. Like, I don't know. My roommate's already set up a gym inside,
Oh, sick.
so I'll be able to work out inside at least.
Can you
That'll
get
be cool.
swole?
Oh yeah, super swole, so we can push those faders extra fast. Break the console. Boom. So I know you play several instruments. What's
Sure.
some interesting ones? You got drums and guitar so far.
Yeah, I do those. When we first started the band, before it was Condemned Till Dawn, we were called Paradiso Falls.
Yeah, Paradiso Falls.
I started on bass. I played bass for the first year we were together. So I have some of that. And when I was going to school full time, I was majoring in music education.
Okay.
So I played bassoon in the main concert band there at the school.
Okay.
And I still play bassoon. They have like a community band that meets every Tuesday night. I still do that. But when I was going to school, I took methods classes where they would teach you how to essentially teach you how to teach some of the instruments. So we would spend like 3 to 4 weeks on an instrument, learning how to play it, and then learning techniques, tips on how to teach that to younger kids. So I went through all the brass methods. So trumpet, trombone, baritone, tuba, French horn. I did all those, and then woodwinds. I did flute and clarinet. That was halfway through the semester, and then I stopped going. But I would have done oboe, bassoon, and sax. I already play bassoon, and I still play sax. I played sax in high school.
Okay. Sax is cool. I played sax when I was in elementary school.
Which sax did you play?
Alto.
That's what I played.
Hell yeah.
I still have my alto.
That's my favorite one. I just like how it sounds. It's like not super bassy, so you can still hear all the notes. 'Cause
Yeah, it's
sometimes
not
on the bigger saxes, like the lower notes just get lost.
They sound like a lawnmower.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. But, man, I wish I could pick up saxophone again, but I don't want to pay for one. Those things are expensive.
You could rent one.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know how expensive that is nowadays, but
I don't know. I better just stick with keyboard for now. I keep telling myself I'm going to try play keyboard, but
are you taking piano classes?
nope. I'm just picking around on the keys. It's like what I did with guitar, but I'm not good at guitar either. I just play for fun. Oh, the new place I moved into, my roommates said they got some extra furniture from a friend they know, and one of the things they got was an electric piano.
Nice.
One of the stand-up electric piano. It's got weighted keys.
Those are nice.
Oh man, it's great. And I looked underneath it, and there's a USB MIDI port on it too, so I can plug it straight in my laptop to play MIDI on Logic, put whatever instruments I want. The weighted keys that's what's got me like excited. I want to mess around with this thing.
The MIDI controller I have, I think it's like 40 some odd keys, and it works the same way. It has a USB, the MIDI plug-in.
Yeah.
But my keys are not weighted.
Yeah.
And it still bugs me.
Yeah, I can like hear them click. When they're not weighted, you can
hear them. It just
hear
feels
like,
different. I don't like how it feels.
Like springs. They have like springs on them. They're all weird.
I think so.
Yeah. It's different when it's just balanced on a weight.
Mm-hmm.
It feels way different. So, one thing I want to do in this podcast is like go over some like crazy stories, like we were doing with the New Mexico,
mm-hmm.
the New Mexico incident, the Albuquerque incident.
I don't know if I can top that, but
Oh, was that your best one?
well, I don't know. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Crazy.
Give me a live show experience. I know that you've had some after parties after a show, right? I was there for one of them, I'm sure.
Okay, so yeah, so one that the first one that comes to mind is the last studio show we had, because we've had a couple different events where we played at the studio.
That studio show, I missed it. I wasn't able to go to that.
Was that the last one?
I think so.
So
I know I missed one of them that like really bummed me out.
So I can't remember when that was. It was sometime last year, but we have the last studio show we had, which will probably be the last one, because things got a little too crazy. We played and that was fine. Everyone was having several drinks, which is normal, but like as the night went on, we started having more and more, and we were like, oh, we never actually finished the set. So we go back and we played like an extra like 3 to 5 songs. And I'm assuming there was a notable difference from the first part of the set to the second part where we had already had like several drinks in us.
Oh yeah.
So once we finished the set, then everyone's kind of hanging out. I think that was the same show where I can't remember whose idea was it, but someone had the idea of bringing an inflatable pool into the studio and filling it with alcohol.
Oh my god.
So you know how our door is like right next to the bathrooms?
Yeah.
And the sew machine, so there's that like space right outside our door. So yeah, right there in that space we had a inflatable pool full of a lot of ice and a lot of booze.
Nice. So like bottles just in the ice and stuff?
Yeah.
Cans and shit?
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
So that got very sticky very fast, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
I think I wrestled somebody at some point, because it gets to I've noticed this in social events where if I drink too much and I'm with some buddies, I kind of get physical a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I'm like, oh, come on, let's wrestle. I don't care if you kick my ass. I just want to wrestle. And most people are like, whatever. You're crazy.
Bigger than most people, so like they don't want to wrestle you.
I can't remember who I wrestled last time. I know I wrestled someone, and because I have vague images in my head of us like wrestling in the hallway, and I remember banging my head on the hall because the hall is like 3 feet wide.
Yeah, it's like a prison hallway.
At one point,
those are wide. What am I talking about?
So another part of that night, there is a fire extinguisher in the hallway. Someone at some point had taken it off and was using it in the parking lot.
Oh, dude, I saw that actually.
Did you? Okay.
I saw that on like an Instagram story or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Kyler.
Okay.
Kyler had a video of that. That was hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
He was like shaking his head like, I can't believe these guys.
If I had seen him take him off, I wouldn't have let him use it, but I was elsewhere. I think I was like inside the studio or something. And then I come out and everyone's like freaking out, and I walk outside and there's this huge like white splat in the middle of the parking lot. And it was the remnants of the that poor fire extinguisher that we vandalized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're just pushing the trigger a little bit, right? It's probably fine.
I think they used it all up and threw it away.
That's probably a smart move. Get rid of it.
So that, I mean, I'm sure other stuff happened that night that I can't quite remember, but that was pretty interesting for sure.
Damn, I really, really wish I could have made that one.
That was a trip. I think it might have been that same show where I played with Beef. Do you know about Beef? Beef is the
Yeah.
three ladies.
Yeah, I know Beef.
So one of them couldn't make it. I think Beth does drums and she couldn't make it. So Paige and Dakota were there, and we were like, "Oh, you guys should like open for us or play before." And they're like, "Oh, we don't have Beth," and I'm like, "Well, I can play drums." And so I kind of learned one of their songs, and that was like I believe Beef's like first like live performance.
Oh, yeah,
So
like
that was pretty
4
badass.
people.
3 people.
Yeah. Live performance for others.
That was pretty. Well, no, there were a few people like watching.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. I was excited to be a part of Beef for like 5 minutes.
Hey, who knows? Another opportunity might arise.
Yeah, if things go right, I can leave Condemned and join Beef.
Go right?
I would like nothing more than that.
Well, I mean, maybe we can make it happen. Maybe, who knows? You can just drum for both.
I mean, I could, but they got a full-time drummer there, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just be a.
I'll be an auxiliary percussionist. I'll have my triangle. I'll have my little my bells, my glockenspiel,
and a timpani.
And I'll bring one timpani drum.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes.
So, so you're actually releasing a CD at the Condemned show tomorrow, right?
Not exactly. It's for Huntsman, and Huntsman we had put out publicly. That's been out since like last September.
Okay.
But we never had to have like an actual show for it.
So this is like a promotional show?
Pretty much. The unfortunate thing is I don't believe we will have CDs for it, like physical CDs. But there's nothing we can do about that at this point. It'll still be nice to be able to promote the CD because it's done so well.
Yeah. So is that just a funding thing? Like you just weren't able to buy them?
No, well, that's all looped into the thing we have with Wormhole Death. Do you know much about that? Or I guess I could say. So, Wormhole Death is a smaller label from Italy.
Okay.
And they had heard some of Huntsman, and they reached out to us because they wanted to help promote and distribute Huntsman via their resources. So we agreed to a little something, and it's still in the works. They made, I think, the first press release about a week or two ago that we're with Wormhole on that thing. It probably sounds cooler than it is because this is just for Huntsman. It's not like we're tied to this label. I'm not sure if we'll continue working with them. We'll see, but
sounds like a safe deal regardless.
It was pretty safe. Yeah, so we were hoping to get CDs by the show, but it just didn't pan out that way.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, this will be more of a promotional show for Huntsman, which we never got to have in the first place.
Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe it'll get more traffic anyways. Are you pulling any royalties off of Spotify? Like with Condemned? Just little bits? Not really.
I mean, we'd have to be getting some serious numbers on Spotify before we saw anything.
Anything at all? Wonder how that works. What number do you have to hit first?
I don't know the specifics of that, but I just know that the royalties, like per play, are laughable.
Oh yeah, it's like 0.007 of a second.
I don't think it's even that.
Of a penny,
to be honest.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but it's to the point where even the big artists who have like millions and millions of hits, what they get is like chicken feed.
Yeah,
from what I've read. So
compared to what they're making off of like
merchandise and stuff like that.
Merchandise for sure. I feel like that's how metal bands make money nowadays. Merchandise mostly.
That, or if people are still buying physical CDs.
Well, that would be merch in my book.
Yeah,
I would call that merchandise.
Well, you wouldn't call them album sales? Does that all fit in with merch?
That's all the same thing in my head, because now when you're listening to somebody's music, it's not because you bought their album. I buy their album because I like the band and I want to support them. I don't buy the album to hear their music. I can do that on Spotify. So that's just a piece
That's
of
a good
merchandise
point.
for me. It's like a collectible, you know. Like I still got one of your guys' CDs.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I don't listen to it, so.
Which one is it? I guess it has to be Legion,
Yeah,
right? I think.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I think we did a little bit better job on Huntsman.
Yeah, I was listening to it. The quality is definitely different, but I'm excited to see it live for sure. I think the last time I saw you guys, Fabio was on bass.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It might have been in this room, dude. I think the last.
Oh, really?
It? Or was it Joe's Grotto? I think Joe's Grotto was the last time I saw you guys.
Interesting.
And then the time before that was like when they had both of those stages going on. You know, they had like 2 stages at once.
Oh yeah, wasn't Arcanaut playing that night too?
Yeah, Arcanaut played.
That's right.
You know what? No, the last time I saw you was here in my living room.
I was gonna say I think this was after that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's when we did that Arcanaut and Condemned show.
That was like 2 years ago?
Shit, yeah. Yeah, 2 years ago. It's crazy.
God damn.
I almost forgot you played right here.
In this very room.
To like more people than were in Texas.
You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong about that.
there was like 3 times more people in this room than there was in that bar in Texas.
But you know what? There were more people in that bar in Texas than there were in the bar at Bisbee.
Oh my god. That Bisbee show. There was Arcanaut was in there.
Yeah, you guys were in there.
And the bartender.
And we were in there, the bartender, and I think, at least while we were playing, I think there was maybe
There was a couple.
2 people in the
There
bar.
was a couple sitting down at the table. And then they left, and then Arcanaut went on.
we played super late, and we were opening for you guys. You guys went on at what, like 10:30 or something? Something super late.
I thought we played after you.
You did. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like we.
Yeah. You guys went on. Well, the first band was like an hour late, so that didn't help.
Oh, that's right.
And the second band was like later than that because the first band went over a little, and then you guys went on at like 11, and then by the time you were done, it was like midnight when Arcanaut went on, and nobody was in the bar.
It was super late.
It's like great. Oh well, it's a 4-hour drive, 8 hours technically.
Well, I enjoyed your guys' set.
Yeah, it was a good time.
The Arcanaut played pretty well.
Yeah, it's. I wish I could hear more Arcanaut live, but I don't know. Steven moved to Washington.
I had heard that recently.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
Damn.
But what are you gonna do? Just gotta live his life. He had something set up in Washington, and Arcanaut's still kind of waiting on our music to get done. We're trying to get the drums just done through MIDI. We're just going to do MIDI drums and try to use Attila's samples. But I don't know. Dan's doing a pretty good job of putting it together right now.
So are you guys using Attila's takes or just his drum samples, and you're putting in his samples with the MIDI?
I think we're using his samples for the MIDI. I'd have to ask Dan for more details, but I'm pretty sure that's how we're doing it.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. He might have scrapped that idea since he told us. But we're just trying to get the drums put together for now, so we can start on other things.
So you guys are doing this all on your own?
For now, yeah.
Wow.
We had Jesse, this guy Jesse, come record Attila like through all the tracks. It took like 2.5 weekends. Like we're over there like recording in a room. He had all the mics set up there for weeks, and he got all the tracks recorded and everything. And we didn't hear back from him for a long time. He was like super busy. He's got like kids and full-time job and all that, and I think he's trying to do more school too.
Gotcha.
But he's got a life, and being a recording engineer is not his bread and butter. So we got put on the back burner, like with every other option we've tried. And so we're back to just trying to do it ourselves again.
Gotcha. We know the feeling. We've kind of been through that same thing a little bit too, and it is frustrating when you've done your part and you're waiting for your stuff to come back, and they're kind of You're just waiting for a response and waiting, and it is frustrating.
It's just, I feel like there's just not a lot of money in recording in Arizona. Arizona doesn't have enough money going around that sort of pool, you know, so.
You're probably right.
You know, you can be the best recording engineer in the world, but if you're in Phoenix, you're probably not going to make a lot of money, you know, so there's not a lot of people basing their entire income off of recording. We're not getting so many professionals here. So
do you know where recording would be more fruitful?
Yeah. LA, New York.
The big ones?
Nashville. Atlanta. Yeah, there's some hubs for music, for sure. Hell, even Seattle's probably got more studios than Phoenix. More artists.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah. But, yeah, Arizona's kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of dry, you know?
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like, the entertainment industry is nothing out here. Like, you got, like, bars playing live shows and stuff, but it's kind of hard to find any, like, life in the music industry. Nobody's really making a whole bunch of music coming out of Arizona. You know, they're always coming from other places.
Well, at least as far as metal goes, I would definitely agree with that. There could be more metal stuff. I think there's more of the, you know, like indie rock, pop, those kinds of genres around here. I've seen more of that, which, you know, I can get into that stuff, but obviously I prefer, my heart's more into the metal community, as I know yours is too.
Oh yeah, I like the intensity.
Well, yeah, and you know, for me, it's more of like the musicality on stage, you know, because people can go up there and play, you know, punk rock stuff, and that's pretty cool. You know, I can appreciate that, but I think that teeters more on expression than it does talent.
Yeah, sure. I could play punk rock.
Right. You know, and I'm obviously not knocking anyone who does that, because I'm sure they're all talented in their own right. But I like seeing a good mesh of talent and expression, you know, seeing any live act. Yeah, and I see that most with metal. So.
Yeah, that's really well put. I could agree with that for sure. I like seeing people just blow my mind. Like, how the hell are they making those sounds? It does, like, at some points, like, the vocalist doesn't even sound like vocals. The guitar doesn't even sound like a guitar. Right. Like, how the fuck? Like, but it's doing it so precisely and so quick and, like, loud as hell with all the energy going on around them, and they're still holding their focus and still playing every note perfect. It's, like, super impressive.
I do think you can also lean towards more of the technical spectrum, which is cool to see, but I feel like if the bands that try, in my opinion, try a little too hard to just be technical, you know, playing wicked fast, you know, I that definitely has its place, but I think, you know, you get too much of anything and it gets kind of monotonous.
Like, there's some prog metal out there, some progressive metal that just sounds like, I don't know, it's almost like random arpeggio.
And some of that stuff is cool, right? But it's when that's like the whole song.
Yeah.
That kind of like, okay.
It's like math metal.
Using math core.
Yeah, they're using math to write their riffs. It's like, don't even need to listen to this. I know it's going to sound. I know how it's going to sound.
Yeah, because I'm writing in 5678 time signature in C double flat sharp.
Yeah.
So even though C double flat sharp isn't a thing. I guess it could be a thing. Hang on. C double flat sharp.
That sounds like a
so
double negative.
That'd be C flat or B.
Yeah, man.
Or B. I'm trying to pretend like I know theory, or that I remember theory from my school days.
Well, do you? Or are you just good at acting like it?
Listen, you don't need to, like, put me on the spot.
It's okay, man. We all forget our second language. I studied German in high school. I don't know any German.
I wish
anymore.
I could have studied German in high school. They took it away.
Oh man.
When I went from middle school to high school, they on the sheet where you could write down what electives you wanted, they had French, Spanish, and German. I'm like, oh, German. But then I got to high school and they're like, oh yeah, well, we actually nixed that class, so I ended up taking French, which I liked, but I would have preferred to learn German.
Yeah, my school had Spanish, German, and Japanese.
Interesting.
Yeah, we had a Japanese teacher at my high school.
Dang.
I chose German. It's like I wanna know the language of beer.
Das Boot. Did you go to school here?
I did. I've spent my whole life here until I joined the Navy, and I was not here for 4 years, and then I came back.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'll stay here forever. It's kind of not much to do in Phoenix, except just live.
Too deserty.
It's cheap. It's cheap to live here.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere I would want to live is way more expensive, so I call it cheap to live here.
True.
I mean, if I had millions of dollars, I'd go to California.
Oh, sure.
I don't have that kind of money. I won't for a long time.
Yeah, I lived there for a little while. Well,
Did you? When?
I mean, I grew up there for like 10 years, and then my family moved out here.
Oh, okay. So where'd you live then?
We lived in Southern California.
Oh, so you had like beach time and all that?
Anaheim. Yeah, we were like maybe 15, 20 minutes away from Huntington Beach.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty cool. And we were close to there, and of course we were like also 20 minutes from like Disneyland, which of course I loved at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the Southern California passes, because Disneyland, at least they used to, they would have like out-of-state passes, in-state passes, and then like
local pass.
local Southern California passes. So that's what we were able to get, and for a little kid growing up, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just go to Disneyland like a couple times a year.
I mean, it was like, I remember multiple times my dad would pick me up from like kindergarten, first grade, and we would just go for a few hours. Like,
nice.
So I have a different appreciation for it, because now I'm like most everyone else, where we can only go to Disneyland like once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
and even then it's usually during the summer. It's usually super hot, expensive, and of course in the summer that's when everyone goes.
Yep.
So it's super crowded, and at that point you can't even really enjoy it. At least from my perspective, I'm like, how can people enjoy this? Because I've gone there in the summer since, and it's too many people, it's too hot, and you can just feel the anxiousness around you from everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how that goes. I went to a park up in, it was in Virginia, I think. Yeah, it was Busch Gardens. Went to Busch Gardens when I was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
We went on Veterans Day, so it was free.
Nice.
And, well, what happened is we're like, okay, let's go to Busch Gardens because veterans get in free. And it was Veterans Day, so we had like reduced hours at work or whatever. And I don't know, they were letting we drove past another theme park on the way there called King's Dominion. And the sign said veteran or active duty gets in free on Veterans Day. We're like, oh, they're doing it too. But then I looked up Busch Gardens, and active duty gets in all the time for free.
Mm.
Like any day, active duty can get in free. We're like, oh, so we wasted our Veterans Day
Damn.
going to the free park. But it was super crowded because it was like a holiday.
Sure.
Everybody's out there for the weekend. But yeah, it was just me and my buddies just trying to wade through the crowd, just trying to go on every roller coaster we could. It was me, my buddy Scott, and my other buddy Daryl. And Daryl hates roller coasters, but we dragged him onto every single one. And he was scream like a girl on every single roller coaster. And it was funny because this guy was like this tall. He's like a tall. He had like real deep voice, and on the roller coaster he's like, ah, like oh my god, like screaming. Me and my other friend were just laughing our asses off the whole time. It was good. But yeah, I need to go on more roller coasters for sure.
Do you need to? Is that what you need to do, Spencer?
I need to. I've only been on like a handful of them. I didn't like them as a kid. So like
No?
I would walk past all the roller coasters as a kid. Any park I went to. I think I went to Busch Gardens as a kid actually. And I skipped all the roller coasters. I was scared of all of them. And
So you were scared of them, or you didn't like?
I was scared of them.
Okay.
I did not want to step foot on a roller coaster when I was a kid. And I went back as an adult, and I was like, fuck that. I'm going on every single one.
I gotta say, the ones I was scared of a few of them. I was scared of the ones that I don't know if it qualifies as a roller coaster. It'd be like that one that's like 1,000 feet tall, and you'd sit this thing, and it would shoot you up straight up.
Oh yeah, like
Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, like the drop, and then it like drops you back.
Yeah,
down.
then it drops you down, then it shoots you back up.
Dude, I love those.
I've never been on one of those because even as a kid I saw that, I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere near that.
That's like one of my favorite rides.
Really?
I like the free fall. That feeling of just falling. Like, dude, I want to go skydiving. Like,
See, skydiving I would do.
I've never been skydiving.
I would do skydiving.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna do it at one point in my life when I have more money to spend.
I would do skydiving like 10 times as much as I do that up and down, whatever that thing is called.
Dude, I put a nickel on my knee once when I did that. And when we dropped, I saw it lift up really quick, and I tried to catch it, and it just tipped my finger and flew.
Oh, man.
I don't know where it went, dude. It just went out into the crowd somewhere.
Hopefully it didn't bludgeon someone in the head.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't hit anybody. Like, God. As soon as it started lifting off my knee, I was like, I should not have done this. This is a stupid idea. Like, I could get in a lot of trouble for this shit.
Haven't people died from that? Like, people would drop, like, pennies from skyscrapers, and that would, like...
that's, like, 20 times taller than this theme park ride was.
Well, right.
I mean, it definitely would have left a mark on someone's head.
I would...
Like, it would have hurt. Probably wouldn't have, like, injured anybody, but you would have felt it.
I mean, what if it, like, somehow landed in their eye, though?
Yeah, I
They're
probably
just looking up, oh, what's that?
Dude, I'd be in
Bonk.
jail. I'd be in jail right now. They'd get me for murder. Manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
I don't know. I've never had any experience in that, so I couldn't tell you.
Do you remember what kind of... You said it was a nickel?
Yeah, it was just a nickel. I don't know. Could have been worse. Could have been like a brick.
It could have been a brick. How old were you when you did this?
I don't know how I'd sneak that onto a ride, but...
How old were you when you did this?
I don't know. I think that one was at Knott's Berry Farm. I was in football, so like high school, maybe 16 or 17.
You bring out like a block or like a cinder block with you and plop it on your knee.
This is my support cinder block.
My support, yeah. Like a support animal.
Straw face.
This is my seeing eye cinder block.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You just have to put some googly eyes on it.
Yeah, that'll work. Well, it's been a pretty good conversation, man.
Has it? I hope it has.
I mean, for me, I don't know how you're feeling, but did you learn anything?
I learned that you almost possibly have committed manslaughter when you're in high school.
Hey, they never contacted me,
I
so
need to watch out for you.
I could have. Maybe they carted him off before I got down.
It's possible.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll catch you at the show tomorrow.
Is that it? Are you booting me off?
Well, I mean, yes.
Does this conclude our broadcast date?
It does.
Okay.
For now. Well, I mean, the show tomorrow. What time does it start?
Doors are at 7. I don't have a time for when we go on. I know we're headlining. I think there's 3 other bands, I think.
Okay.
So I'm guessing 9:30 to 10
Is when you're gonna...
is when we'll go on.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm just assuming.
Cool. Well, I'll probably show up for the whole thing anyways.
Awesome.
I like seeing local bands. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. You just never know.
I might even have a few drinks. Usually I don't drink at shows, like at all, but I might.
The first one in a while, man. You gotta loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, I think, well, I already, I've promised a couple people drinks when they get there, so might as well get some for myself, I suppose. I just don't want to get, because I've seen people get too drunk to play, and I do not want to be in that situation. Like we've had a show.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I don't mean to I'm going to throw Tim under the bus here.
Go ahead.
So our first show at the Marquee, that was pretty exciting. So it's, the night goes on. We're about to go on. The band before us is finishing up their set. It's 10 minutes before we go on. we're in like the little green room backstage, and I walk in and I see Tim. He's like sitting on the couch. He's like trying to practice, and he looks up at me. He's like, "I have made a big mistake." I was like, what happened? He's like, "I have drank too much."
He already knew.
And yeah, the first song, I think we opened with Predators of the Night, and I think there was a couple, I think you could kind of tell some of the notes were kind of not quite there.
Well, did he like tighten up through the set?
Oh yeah. I think after the first song, definitely he was good to go.
The adrenaline sober him up a little?
I assume so. I would feel awful if I was in that situation, so that's why I've like stayed away from drinks before shows, but
that's got to be shitty.
You know, there's a first time for everything, so I guess we'll see.
Maybe it'll be tomorrow.
Maybe it will.
I hope not.
At the expense of the listeners, it might be tomorrow.
I paid good money for that damn
you paid a whole $10 to see me face plant the stage.
Dude, that's worth it. Totally worth it.
I'm not sure how I'd even do that. I'll figure out a way that I'll face plant while playing drums.
All right, well, I look forward to it.
Have your video camera ready.
Nice.
Catching
good idea.
them.
All right, man. It's good talking to you.
Same,
I'll
sir.
catch you tomorrow.
Until the next episode.